everyone, Dr. Harris here. So this is my introduce yourself. You'll notice that you can do videos if you want for the discussion posts. So I'm Dr. Harris. I am originally from Windham, Maine, and you're probably like, how did she get to New York? I actually left Maine for my master's degree. So I went to the University of Maine at Farmington, born and raised, did my bachelor's there in community health education, and then I got into the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and left Maine and have not returned. I finished my master's degree there in health science. I actually was a GA, a graduate assistant, so I taught there as well. So for 3 years, I taught at the University of Arkansas. Once I graduated with my master's, I then moved to Miami University of Oxford, Ohio, the Red Hawks, not to be confused with Florida. That would have been nice, but so taught there for 1 year, and then got the position here at SUNY Oswego. I was trying to make my way a little bit closer to home. My mom was sick at the time with cancer. She's since passed away, but being close to family was important, so a little bit more closer, still 7 hours away, but it's closer than Ohio or Arkansas was. So that's kind of how I got to SUNY Oswego. So I live in Oswego currently, so I live really close to campus, and I have finished my doctoral degree, was from the St. John Fisher College here in Rochester, New York, in executive leadership. So I went from University of Maine for my bachelor's, University of Arkansas to St. John Fisher College for my doctoral degree. Why did health promotion pique my interest? So it's a funny little story. I actually wanted to be a third grade teacher, and my bachelor's degree was supposed to be elementary education, and for the life of me, I couldn't pass the math part on the praxis. Math has always been, not great for me. So my advisor had said, you may want to start looking into some other areas where you can still teach, or you can still, be in the classroom. And so I took a course called Child and Adolescent Health, and I had a professor, Dr. Cam Holtz, who just immediately I was in the class and I was able to get into the, the middle school, and I was working with, a young girl who had a hearing impairment, and it just changed my whole view about what education could be. It doesn't need to be just third grade, teaching all subjects. It can be, honing into one particular area that interests you, which is what I ended up doing with health. So I ended up changing my major to community health education and was able to do a lot of different things and still be in the classroom. So that's really what was so fun for me, and that's kind of how my career in health got started. From there, I then got into my master's program where I had showed up at the University of Arkansas. I got a GA position, so it was a full ride. And I thought I was a TA. Thought I was a TA when I got there, and I was talking to the supervisor who supervised the GAs, and he was giving me the textbooks for the courses and stuff. And I said, "So what professor, am I working with?" And he looked at me and confused. He said, "You are the professor." So I actually started teaching college at 20, and then I turned 21. I was younger I was put in kindergarten pretty early, so a little bit younger there, but yeah, that was my first experience teaching, and that's how I got into college, from my GA position, and then from there I was able to get the Miami position, and then, SUNY Oswego, and I've been here 5 years now at SUNY Oswego, and love it. So that's kind of how that whole process has evolved. Health promotion programming, I've participated in a lot ever since my bachelor's degree, which is essential for you guys as well. If you want to go on to grad school, or if you want a particular career, having employers, having that grad school see that you are engaged other than just going to class is going to be very important. I was part of the health club in my bachelor's, and we have one here at SUNY Oswego. Even if you're remote, you can be a part of the club. It's the Health Promotion and Wellness Club. They do a lot of things. Being part of the virtual part would be great as well. We also have a National Honor Society, ESG. I was a part of that as well in my undergrad and my master's. And that is the National Educational Honorary Society. It's called ESG, Eta Sigma Gamma, not a sorority or fraternity, just Greek letters, but we do a lot of stuff like that as well. And there is an application process for that. But the programming I was involved with that kind of came out of both of those clubs and organizations was, healthy dinners for the communities. It was conference presentations. It was, doing Alzheimer's walks. It was doing Relay for Life. It was all of those types of things, which I continue to do today, as well as participate in health fairs and do the health fairs and things like that. So it's good to actually get hands-on experience. Why did I like to take part in the HSC 101 online course? I like teaching online. I like the fact that you have to be a little bit more creative. You have to be able to reach the students, whether you're sitting in Colorado, whether you are sitting in Maine, or you are in California. You are still a student, and you should be able to have this instructor presence and get to know me as well as your peers. And I find that can be a challenge, and it can be a challenge for working professionals too. So making sure that the class is flexible, that I have things open, and it's fun to navigate, because at the same time, when things like the pandemic happen, online is important, and being able to know how to engage your students is important there too. And I know a lot of students like to take online as well, especially during this time. If you felt unsafe coming to campus, definitely a key online courses to be in. But also, it may be that you work and you need a little bit more independent time, and you need more of that asynchronous modality. So, what interests me most about health and wellness is the fact that you can change behavior, but I think the most powerful part of health and wellness is being able to be an advocate and empower others to make a change if they want to, right? We can't force people to make a change, but kind of the overall goal of our profession is to increase quality of life, and also to prevent and promote health, right? So to prevent illness and disease, to promote health, be an advocate, be a change agent for people. And especially with COVID, especially with, all of these different social justice issues that are happening and have been happening, since the end of time, but health equity, right? Why is it that certain populations are being affected unequally than other populations, right, with diseases? Why is that happening? It shouldn't be happening, right? And as health educators, it's our responsibility to try and close this gap, right? Why is it that, certain ethnicities or cultures have higher death rates for COVID, right? When it comes down to access, it comes down to money, financial, right? So all of this is something that's very intriguing for me, and it's a challenge, because I've been trying to close these gaps for a long time. And the way the system is set up, it can be very difficult, and I think we all know that. So that's what interests me most, but it's what, kind of drives me, is to help others, and also give my students the same opportunities I was able to have in regards to their academics, and go the same route I did, and, get your doctorate and do all those types of things. What am I good at in regards to health and wellness? I would say advocacy and communication, but also that just do it mentality of, okay, I'm going to create this program for the community. I mean, right now I'm trying to get a grant so I can do a program called Go Girl Sexual Health Empowerment Program for 6th to 12th grade girls here in Oswego County, because we have high rates of teen pregnancy, STIs, and all of that, and create this program where girls can come after school and we can have fun, but also talk about, the essentials, rights, respect, responsibility, your body, STIs, teen pregnancy. If this happens, where can you go? So that's kind of the fun part about it for me too. Outside of the online environment, my hobbies, I just went fishing on Saturday, so I'm a little sunburned, as you can tell. Didn't catch anything. No, not one thing. A little upset about that, but everybody else did but me. So I like to just do a lot of things. I'm pretty crafty. I like to do Pinterest things when I have time. In regards to the textbook, this was something that just got finished this summer, so I do a lot of research on the outside of the classroom and things like that related to my career, but also I got a little puppy during quarantine, so let me show you. Oh, she's sleeping, but yeah. So she's kind of the light of the life right now. Right, Coco? This is Coco. She's 8 months. She is a Malshi. She was just sleeping on on the couch next to me. She's a Maltese, so she's half Shih Tzu, half Maltese. So she has been kind of my hobby lately. She likes to go out for walks and do all kinds of things, so that's kind of what I like to do. I like to play sports. I like to just get out and do things, and I think when the pandemic is done, I will be doing a lot of that. Traveling too is fun. My plans for the future. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, hopefully married, because I've been engaged for quite some time. But that's also because I was finishing my degree and doing all kinds of other stuff. And so that, as well as, who knows, obviously continuing at Oswego and, doing some new things and stuff like that. So that will be fun. What type of health-related career path? So I always wanted to teach, and I made it happen. I just made it not third grade, right? So college level. So if you set your mind to something that you want to do, of course you can do it. Just being able to seek out the opportunities, network with those professors. So I had some really, really good mentors and professors and advisors in my undergrad. You all have that at your fingertips too within our program. So don't hesitate to reach out to me or anybody else in the department, because we really do try and put you in those positions or help you get the grad school that you want and all of those types of things. So I always wanted to do education. There really wasn't another career path for me that I thought about. So that's something that I've always wanted to do. How could I involve and motivate others? I would say through creation of programming, through advocacy, even if it's through this remote portal, right? Like starting to harness ourselves as health promoters in a time where when we come out of COVID-19 and things start to go back to normal, some things are going to change, right? Because of what happened. So, especially for health promotion, if you are able to, plan, implement, and evaluate a program all virtually, an employer is going to want you, right? Because if this happens again, they're going to want to have someone like that on their team. But I think planning the programs, but again, motivating and advocating, being an ally and a support system for people that want to change their behavior, right? And also knowing the tools, theories, and models that you can use to help them get to where they want to be, okay? One thing to remember is we can never force somebody to change. That's not what we do as health educators. So if you consistently get somebody that says, no, I don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. They're in the stage of pre-contemplation. No reason to change in the next 6 months, right? You can give them statistics and information, let it marinate, and then maybe they get to contemplation and say, maybe you're right. Then maybe they come back to you, right? And then you start that process. So I think that's really important too, but just being able to, even when you're out at the grocery store and you see something happening or somebody has a question, being able to just say, oh yeah, I know the answer to that, or, speak up, about things and just be an ally and, make change where change is needed and try and close that health equity gap and close, the gaps that we're seeing in regards to health and everything else in the United States. So I think that's important. But that's a little bit about me, obviously a little bit different question to question, but if you do have any questions for me, hopefully you guys watch mine and give me some responses, because I'll definitely take a look at yours. So, all right, have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to our peer posts on Wednesday.